class. So I just wanted to very briefly go over your rubric for how you are being graded for your research paper. So basically how this breaks down is each of these is worth 20 points, all right? And so your introduction is going to be worth 10 points, essentially. Your conclusion is going to be worth 10 points, but they're grouped together with this 20 points here. So for full credit, this is what you're going to want to do. Make sure your introduction has an interesting hook and gives opposing argument, then argues against it. All right, that's how you get full points for your introduction. Conclusion should restate main argument and supporting reasons. Also, you should have an effective appeal for change. Make sure you watch my video on the common errors to know what the appeal for change is. Also, your body paragraphs is another way that you are being graded. This is kind of has to do with your organization. Okay, so body paragraphs have transitions. Remember, one reason why, or in addition, right? So has those words or phrases that transition with clear topic sentences. Remember, that's your argument, right? So one reason why abortion should be illegal is because it's murder. That's a topic sentence, and includes further explanation. Remember, you should have two sentences, okay, two sentences before you get into your evidence, all right? You're also being graded on your thesis. That's part of your organization. So thesis is clear in one sentence and states main argument and 3 supporting reasons in your intro. And remember, it should be at the last sentence in your introduction. Your evidence, body paragraphs have 2 APA quotes formatted correctly that prove your argument. Remember, for your evidence, they need to be about 3 lines long, or maybe 3.5 lines long at the longest. If you have really, really long quotes, this is where I might take off some points for that. So make sure that your quotes are only 3.5 lines long at the longest. All right, analysis of evidence includes 2 to 3 sentences of analysis that thoroughly shows how evidence proves argument. Remember, I'm looking for 2 full lines of evidence or of analysis per quote, okay, which means that you'll do this for each quote. Each quote should have 2 to 3 sentences of analysis that's about 2 lines in length long that thoroughly shows how evidence proves your argument. The last thing you're being graded on is your APA format. So you should have has proper APA title page, header. I'm also going to include abstract, all right, and references page, and minimal grammar errors with no informal language. Remember, that means in the body of your paper, as well as in your introduction, you don't have any yous and yours, you don't have any I, me, we, our, you don't have any contractions, right? So make sure that you look at that list of informal language before you write. So basically, each one of these, if you were to say you got this, okay, right here, and this, that would be simply minus 3 points. Okay, each one of these is basically worth 3 points each. So if you go down to this one, that would be minus 3. If you got all of this, that would be minus 6, because this is worth 3 points and this is worth 3 points. So hopefully that makes sense how that's kind of broken down. I will be highlighting this and returning these back to you guys after you turn your paper, so you'll kind of be able to see where you missed points and why. Hopefully you guys, do a fantastic job and you get 20 points all the way down the board, and that's 100% great if you're able to do that. I also quickly wanted to talk to you guys about how to do your references page. So this is my example for the note cards assignment. So basically for your references page, here's what I want you guys to hear me. You are only copying and pasting the sources that you actually use in your paper, right? So say that I used this quote in my paper. Now I would probably have to shorten it just a little bit so it's a little shorter, but if I use that quote in my paper, what you're going to do is you're going to copy and paste and say, if this is my last page in my research paper, okay, this should not be like a separate page, but I'm just showing you guys how to do this. The references, okay, this is my references page. I'm going to make sure that the spacing is double here. I'm going to copy and paste this. If you did this correctly, okay, before where you indented it, it should be already indented. If this was not indented, you could right click it, go to paragraph, and then make sure that under special that you've clicked hanging. Okay, it should be hanging indent, double spacing. Okay. All right, let me go back to my note card example. So say I did not use this source. Okay, I didn't use anything from this source in my paper. I would not copy and paste it to my references page. I'm only selecting the sources that I copied. So say that I used this source in my paper. I had a really awesome quote from this. All right, I'm going to copy and paste that one. All right, and notice this time this one did not copy and paste correctly, so I can show you guys how to reformat that. All right, let me go back here. Say I used something from procon.org. Okay, that's a pretty good website. So I'm going to copy and paste that one as well. So this is my references page. Some of them copied and pasted correctly, some of them did not. So I'm going to go ahead and make this Times New Roman. I'm going to make this 12-point font. And then I'm going to right click it again, go to paragraph. Under special, I'm going to click hanging. I'm going to press OK. All right, this one looks really weird, so I'm going to tab that over. I'm going to tab this over, and I'm going to tab this over. All right, I had to manually do that one because it just didn't want to go correctly, and that's fine too. If you have to manually tab it over, you can do that. Notice my references page, I only include the sources that I'm actually quoting from in my paper. You should have at least 3 sources. 3 sources is the minimum, okay? So make sure you're citing from at least 3 sources. And notice it's an ABC order. So BBC comes first, Newkirk comes second, and Procon comes last because that's an ABC order. So it is indented, it's an ABC order, and it is, I have at least 3. So that is how you correctly cite your references page, okay? All right, guys, so hopefully this rubric makes sense for how you are being graded. Make sure that you take a look at it before you write your paper. Also, I would encourage you guys, I know I showed you this before, but make sure you go through this research paper checklist. I'll be uploading this as well. This will kind of show you after you've written your paper what you should include, and if you didn't include something, it should kind of prompt you to go back and do that. All right, make sure you email me if you have any questions, and I look forward to reading your final drafts. I can't wait to see your papers. I know you guys are going to do a great job, okay? Papers are due by this Thursday, but I do give you 1 day of grace. So you can upload it over the weekend. Just make sure that it's in my inbox no later than next Monday at 8 a.m. because I will be taking off late points if it's not uploaded by then. All right, guys, email me with questions. Thanks. See you later.